Bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing.
It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. I was a little suspicious. I mean, if somebody really could offer you something so luxurious, would they be telling you the truth? I mean, could it possibly be a scam? I don't know. Let's look into it.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Welcome. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully blessed. This is your host JE3 representing the Wakazi United podcast, where we are about the people, for the people. Don't believe me? It's in the name. So today I wanted to really expound on, as the first really or second, I kind of had a little or had an introductory video you can see on the main channel, but we're gonna get right into it, discussing what I think would be a good introductory topic for this channel. So for those who are new, which is probably everybody at this point, this is like the second episode or second posting on this channel. This is the Wakazi United podcast. It is a podcast that is sponsored by Wakazi Holdings Group, a Tanzanian foreign Tanzanian company, kind of a tongue twister there, in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Tomato in the sense of pronunciation is perfectly fine. However, correct me in the comments if you're from that area, and if you're from that area, give me a shout out. Go ahead and follow us, because we are here to represent to the best of our abilities the love and passion of the people on the ground over there. I was last in the country in 2022, a little bit a minute ago, but my directors are back and forth on this channel. I will have some cool documentary episodes that will come up in the near future that I'm working on behind the scenes, but I just want to give commentary to the business side of what we do. And what we do is try to find certain grassroots projects, ventures, and business developments that we believe can be helpful, not just to the local Tanzanian economy, but also for the surrounding areas from Kenya to Uganda to Rwanda to Mozambique to Malawi to Zambia to the DRC, pretty much the East African Conference. I believe that's what the EAC represents as a conference. Correct me on that one. But from the EAC, just trying to see what opportunities are around there and connecting the bridge from that part of the world to over here where I'm currently at the moment, which is the United States of America. My business partners include people from the Caribbean as well as those on the ground in TZ. When you hear me say TZ, I'm speaking about Tanzania, for those who may not know why I use that abbreviation. So my goal is to create that bridge, to create those connections, and to build on the African diaspora all around the world. But it is not to exclude anyone who wants to be a part of this channel, because what we do here is to also offer and hopefully my camera's not going off and on, but what we do here is to offer many opportunities for different companies around the world. Just like any other place in the world, they're not just one ethnic group of people that are stationed there. Some people don't like that. Some people do like that. If you understand trade and commerce, you understand that, hey, it's an opportunity to do some good if you're willing to do some good with that opportunity. You get what I'm saying? So, we have from China to Russia to the UK to have Americans like myself to people from the Caribbean, just all different walks of life. And of course, also different ethnic groups that are indigenous to that area and many others from the surrounding countries that I mentioned prior. So it's just a beautiful thing that I get to expound on this channel, and I'm so happy that y'all here to join me in this endeavor. So what are we speaking about today? Well, kind of got to get to the meat and potatoes, to the itty gritty, which is, hey, some people a little weary about traveling, man. Some people just like, hey, is it safe? Is it a good thing to go out the country? I mean, I heard some things about the dark continent, Africa. I heard some things about it. You hear a lot of different stuff. Like, and for those who are on the continent, you're like, what are you talking about? It's beautiful here, sunshine, and beautiful people. I understand. I had the pleasure of being there, but from those who do not know, might feel a little weirded out about you doing business in another country. Like, what does that even mean? And let's be fair, there are dangers everywhere. Everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It's always something you have to be aware of when you're in a different place. I have some travelings. I won't sit up here and say that I'm some kind of a global connoisseur when it comes to traveling around. My passport doesn't look like Lil Wayne tattoos or anything like that, but I'm building on that. But I like to really soak into the cultures that I am involved in, and this one has been a amazing project and opportunity for me, as well as my business partners and the many different friends and associates that we have met on that side of the world. So without further ado, let's get into some of the questions you may be having, and we're going to build off of this. By each episode I segmented a certain type of way, so after a while you kind of get the flow. As you saw from the initial video that came before you saw me in this position, we'll more than likely start the channel off with that. Might start off after I speak on certain things. It just all depends, but trying to get a certain timing and a certain flow, so we're trying to run a tight ship here. All right, so let's break down a few things. Like, what does just from a quick Google search, what does it say is the safety of TZ? So I did see this. Let me see if I pull it up here, if you can see me in the background. All right, perfect. Well, this is the travel.state.gov, the U.S. Department of State. So U.S. we got our own little ways of viewing things, but just for those who may be watching this in the States, I'm in the States, so I'm sure this probably will be catered as far as who finds me on this platform to you, but hopefully those hashtags go and spread to where they need to be found. But from the Tanzania Travel Advisory, so they give it a level 3, which, let's see, the advisory level increased from level 2 to level 3. So okay, so it's the unrest risk indicator was added. So that's not too bad. I mean, and once again, you can take this with a grain of salt about how that really applies in real time. As you can see, there's some politics here. The U.S. likes to focus on, like, one they say is due to unrest, crime, and terrorism. Terrorism is a problem everywhere, and I'm not trying to make light of that. ISIS is a real thing, and Hezbollah and things like that. Those are real things. Those are real organizations. Those are real dangerous organizations. If you are a part of those organizations, I would kindly ask you to reconsider your life choices. I get it, sometimes you fall into certain things in life. I'm not here to judge, but I am asking you to maybe repent from some of that stuff, man. It is not good for you other people. It says targeting of certain individuals, certain lifestyles, I put it like that. So if that's not you, you probably don't have anything to worry about. If that is you, well, that's something to take into consideration. Most African countries, most most countries in the world are pretty conservative, and that by conservative, I'm not speaking in the political sense, just nuclear households, very I mean, for some would call it old fashioned, whatever you want to say on that note. So they're not, too keen on anything outside of those structures. So, what else does it say here? Demonstrators often take place in response to political economic issues. Hence, pretty much everywhere. Everything's become very polarized within the last 5 years. It's kind of a sad reality. That's just where we're at. They said it can be a little bit unpredictable. Okay, so just like in any country, whether you be in the UK, whether you be here in the States, be mindful of certain protests that might be going on. And here's a little side note on that. Probably don't get involved if you're a foreigner. Stay in your lane. You don't know what's going on. It's great to hear what the locals have to say. It's great to hear what they're feeling. What they're passionate about. That's one beautiful thing about traveling. But it doesn't mean you need to grab a picket sign and say we shall overcome. Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. I have a seat on that one. Okay, what does it say about crime? It says crime is very common. Sure, from different assaults, robberies, muggings, and things like that. That's one thing about TZ. Like I said, we are stationed in Dar es Salaam, which is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the largest city in TZ. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the largest city in TZ. It has millions of people live there, very congested. I mean, like the population size of like Chicago, in an area that's not as wide as Chicago. I'm pretty sure people are pretty much compacted on one another, and it, as well as Zanzibar, which is the larger island off the coast, are heavy tourist places. And I, in the States, am from actually a tourist city, so I get it. It's real. They do expect high traffic, and when you're a local, and you're down on your luck, unfortunately that's kind of the mindset of certain people. Terrorism, risk of violence, like I stated before. I've started about certain individuals, certain lifestyle choices. If you decide to travel, it says have a plan and leave. I cannot read today. Have a plan to leave in an emergency that does not depend on U.S. government help. Well, you should always have a plan. Don't just travel without a plan. I know I've actually met some people who just like they spin the globe, point, say I'm going here, and they're gonna go there. They don't care if it's. I'm not gonna name a country. I'm not gonna mean like that, but certain countries like you want to go there. Okay, interesting. Yeah, got you. But I would just say probably to do some brainstorming, some planning. We did a lot of that before we left. I did a lot of that before I left. So. And like I said, I left during a very hectic time in world history. I put it like that. Let's see, keep a low profile. I mean, that's a little tough. And I'm going to say why. Because you might think, for example, I am, as you would call, an African American. That's what we're going by today. At one point it was Afro American. Other point it was a bunch of other stuff. We can get all that. But, you think like, oh, I can just show up there and they'll be like, oh, my brother. They'll just, no, I stuck out like a sore thumb. It was very odd. Maybe it's because technically my lineage is more West African than East African, but then I still saw some people who still look like some kin of mine. But I don't, I know I may get into that commentary because it's a funny story, but I still stuck out. It was no hiding. They were like, I know what you are. You're not me, but in a nice way, in a beautiful way. It wasn't like I'm about to get them. But you may stick out. So keeping a low profile isn't like you're gonna be invisible and nobody can see you. It's more of once again, stay in your lane. Don't be out here doing something excessive. You might find yourself in some trouble, right? So stay aware of your surroundings. Some of this stuff is really just common sense, but some common sense ain't common. Do not leave your food or drink unattended. Ladies, y'all already know this. Okay, you already know this. You go out here, you go to the bar, you leave, go to the bathroom, and come back. You don't have a drink. I don't care if you bought it. It's not your drink no more. You don't not trust it. Kindly pass it back to the bartender. But this is just in general. Whether it be a restaurant, bars, whatever. You don't want to do it because it's evil in the world. We're all to be adults here. That's just how it goes. Stay alert. In tourist spots as well. Yep, just because you're in a tourist spot, that's actually where some of the craziest stuff happens. It could be actually more relaxed when you're in like a local small village. I've been to some of them. Man, they just treat you like family is a beautiful thing. Avoid public displays of affection. Um, it was this between same people the same sex. That goes kind of probably with the above mentioning. Um, I mean, you know, this may also be more of an American thing. Like we don't mind being affectionate in the public, even if you go to like England or somewhere. They're very kind of stiff and prom and proper. You just speak in a certain type of way, you know. So that might be what it's referencing. But I mean, they're friendly over there, man. They smile. If you smile, they smile. They might look at you kind of crazy at first, and you smile. You say, "Oh, hey, okay, he's friendly." You know, don't be too friendly. Be like, "Oh, he's a lick." Meaning he's he's a target. You know, don't be that guy. But I don't know too much about that one. And they tell you some things to enroll in, some things to review. So in general, it's to me this is just basic information. I don't even really, I don't quite know, you know, what that means with respect to level 3. That might be a universal thing at this point, but it's still one to understand. So if you like what has been spoken by so far, please give this video a like. Please comment and let me know what you think. And if you are from TZ, hey, welcome, my brother Yambo. Let me know. What do you think about this? Is this pretty straightforward? This is some things that maybe they should add. Say, hey man, it's even worse, or hey, it's not even that bad. Like, let me hear your thoughts on that. You know, I respect everyone's opinion on this issue. This is the People United podcast. We are